Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Doc Ed Padama and this time I will be sharing with all of you another research template for those who are conducting experimental research or using experimental research design. So before we start, I would like to invite everyone to please check out my YouTube channel. Marami pa kayong mga videos na magagamit doon habang kayo ay nagsusulat ng inyong research paper or kung malapit na kayong mag-defend ng inyong research. Meron din tayong mga videos doon na makakatulong sa inyo sa paghahanda ng inyong defense at sa mga tanong na pwedeng lumabas sa inyong defense. Another reminder is that in the duration of this video, we will be using the languages Tagalog and English. So when we talk about experimental research, kapag ang pinag-uusapan natin ay yung tinatawag nating experimental research, this refers to the testing. You are conducting a test, kaya nga siya experimental. Now the question is, ano ba ang tinetest? If we are going to put this in a specific field of specialization or discipline, ang tinetest dito karaniwan pag sa academe ay yung tinatawag nating teaching strategy. Teaching strategy. So, ang focus nito is more on the pedagogy area. Ano-anong mga bagong paraan ng pagtuturo ang pwede nyong itest gamit itong strategy na ito at ang gagamitin ninyong mga respondents karaniwan ay yung mga estudyante. So gagamit kayo ng dalawang grupo at sisiguraduhin ninyo dapat na yung dalawang grupo na yon ay tinatawag nating comparable. Mamaya ipapaliwanag natin kung anong kahulugan ng comparable. And then after that, yung isang grupo gagamitan nyo ng bagong teaching strategy, yung isang grupo naman ay walang teaching strategy. So, yun ang magiging focus ng ating discussion para dito sa video na ito. Papaano gawin yung tinatawag nating conceptual framework? Bago natin ituloy, ang conceptual framework ay yung tinatawag natin dati na research paradigm. So, ang ginagamit na term ngayon referring to the research paradigm is what we call the conceptual framework. The paradigm is a diagram that presents the variables, the flow, and the relationship of these variables to one another. Ulitin natin, yung tinatawag natin conceptual framework o yung research paradigm is a diagram kung saan nagpapakita ito ng relasyon ng bawat elemento at yung flow ng inyong research. Okay, so this is already a pre-made conceptual framework. So ginawa ko na ito, gagamitin na lang natin ito para i-relate yung statement of the problem ninyo, specifically yung specific problems dito sa inyong conceptual framework. Okay, so what you can do now if you are using experimental research design in your study, pwede nyo nang i-adapt ito. Humingi lang kayo ng consent sa akin by sending me a message in my social media account, especially if you are going to use this in your study. So, ang gawin nyo na lang, you can cite me and you can ask permission and then you can use this already in your study. Lalong-lalo na kapag experimental research ang ginagawa ninyo. Okay, usually, ito naman palagi yung flow na ginagamit. So, kaya natin tinawag ito na template. You can already customize, modify, and specify the variables. Yun na lang yung papalitan ninyo dito sa framework na ipipresent ko sa inyo. And explain natin kung ano-ano yung iba't ibang bahagi nito at kung ano yung relasyon nito doon sa specific problem ninyo. Now, nabanggit natin kanina na itong tinatawag nating experimental research ay yung pagtetest na isang teaching strategy. So, para mas maintindihan pa natin, naghanda rin ako ng sample research title na gagamitin natin in our discussion for this particular video. And this will be our sample research title. Lagay natin dito para madali nating ma-access. Okay, so our sample research title is Game-Based Learning, GBL, in Teaching Mathematics to Grade 7 Students. Ulitin natin, Game-Based Learning in Teaching Mathematics to Grade 7 Students. So, let us identify what is the teaching strategy in our sample research title. The teaching strategy is game-based learning. Okay? Who will be the respondents of this study? Grade 7 students. Okay? Yung iba nagtatanong, Sir, nasa ng IV tsaka DV? The IV is game-based learning. That is your independent variable. And the dependent variable will be the grade 7 students. Now that we have already established that, papaano naman natin ngayong gagamitin dito sa inyong conceptual framework? Kung makikita nyo, maliban doon sa unang salita na nasa itaas ng diagram natin, which is control group and experimental group, pwede nyo itong i-customize based doon sa research title na ginagamit nyo. So, instead of using control group and experimental group, paano ba natin i-differentiate? Ano ang pagkakaiba ng control group sa experimental group? Itong experimental group, ito yung gumagamit ng bagong teaching strategy. Ito yung gumagamit ng innovative na teaching strategy. Itong tinatawag nating experimental group. So, ang gagawin ninyo, palitan na ninyo yung title niya na experimental group. Ang gamitin nyo na dito ay yung tinatawag nating teaching strategy ninyo, which is GBL, Game-Based Learning Group, instead of experimental group. Okay? And then on the other hand, ito naman, yung control group, this refers to the group na hindi ginagamitan ng teaching strategy. So, paano nyo bibigyan ng pangalan? Ang gamitin yung pangalan is non-GBL group. Okay, na-establish nyo na yung dalawang grupo. Now, i-relate na natin ito doon sa statement of the problem ninyo. If this is the predetermined conceptual framework, ito naman, ang predetermined, pwede nyo nang gawing guide ito. Palitan nyo na lang yung mga variables, gawin nyo na lang specific. Ito naman yung statement of the problem na pwede nyo nang gamitin para sa inyong experimental research. All you need to do, ladies and gentlemen, dear researchers, is to make sure that you substitute your variables in this particular SOP template. Ulitin ko, palitan ninyo ng mga variables kung ano yung ginagamit ninyo sa inyong respective research titles. Now, punta na tayo dito. Sabi natin, establish natin yung relationship ni SOP dito kay conceptual framework. Ano ba yung SOP number 1? Ito yung tinatawag nating comparability. Comparability ng dalawang group. So, dapat yung non-GBL group at GBL group ay comparable. So, i-compare nyo silang dalawa. Comparability test to. Comparability. Are they comparable? So that is SOP number 1. Ano ang ginagawa dito sa comparability test? You have to make sure na yung dalawang grupo mo, yung non-GBL group, this one, at yung GBL group should have no significant difference. Ibig sabihin, walang masyadong pagkakaiba pagdating doon sa kanilang academic performance o kung ano man yung basehan ninyo ng kanilang academic performance. So, dapat halos pareho lang sila. No significant difference. Dahil kapag may significant difference itong dalawa at hindi sila comparable, doon pa lang you have to stop your experiment. Kasi palaging ginagamit kong metaphor to illustrate this is like a race. Para malaman nyo sa isang karera kung sino yung pinakamabilis doon sa mga participants, kailangan magsisimula sila lahat sa iisang linya. And then eventually, when you conduct the actual race. Towards the end, malalaman mo kung sino yung pinakamabilis at sino yung huli doon sa i-conduct na race o na action. It's the same dito sa experimental research natin. That is why you are conducting yung tinatawag natin comparability ng dalawang grupo. So that is SOP number 1. So lagyan natin ng check. So nandun na yung SOP 1. Ito yung SOP 1, no? How comparable are the two groups? Pwede nyo namang ilagay dito, instead of two groups, pwede nyo ilagay yung GBL group, GBL, and non-GBL group. Okay. Or the other alternative is just use the term two groups, referring to GBL and non-GBL group. Dalawang alternative na pwede nyo gamitin. So, usually, pwede nyo pagbasihan third quarter grade average nila. This is just an example na pwede nyo gamitin. Okay? So, again, that is SOP number 1 reflected doon sa ating conceptual framework. Going on doon sa susunod na specific problem natin. What is the pretest performance of the two groups? Ano yung number 2? Ito yon, yung pretest performance ng dalawang group. Ano yung pretest nila? So you're going to conduct a pretest with validated questions dito sa non-GBL group at dito sa GBL group. So magko-conduct kayo ng pretest. Pretest dito sa group na yan, initial test or pretest para sa group na yan. So that is SOP number 2. Okay, after conducting the pretest, ano na yung specific problem number 3? What is the significant difference? Aalamin ninyo, may pagkakaiba ba? Significant difference between the pretest performances ng dalawang group. Ito ulit yung two groups, oh. Ano yung two groups na yon? Yung GBL tsaka non-GBL. Ito yon, sinabi natin kanina. So, for the purposes of consistency, kapag sinimulan nyo sa two groups, consistent kayo dapat two groups. Ito, two groups din. Kapag ang ginamit nyo, itong pangalan ng strategy ninyo, dapat lahat yan consistent, yun din ang gagamitin ninyo. Okay? So again, you are trying to see if there is difference between the pretest performances ng dalawang group. So, i-compare mo sila dito. So, this is the significance test. Significant difference test ng pre-test ng dalawang group. So, that is SOP number 3. Okay, next, SOP number 4. What is the post-test performance of the two groups? Ito naman, magbibigay ka naman ng post-test ng dalawang group. So, ang mangyayari dito is, pagkatapos ng magbigay ng pre-test, dito, magtuturo ka na ng math wala kang ginagamit na strategy, yung conventional, kasi non-GBL group yan. Kaya ito, non-strategy group. So, pwede mo nang palitan ulit ito kung ang ginamit mo dito sa una ay yung non-GBL group. Dapat dito, non-strategy, tama. Okay? Pwede nyo din gamitin yung non-GBL group and GBL group. Pero dito, referring to hindi ginamitan ng strategy, ito, ginamitan naman ng strategy. So, again, after conducting the pretest doon sa dalawang group, magko-conduct ka naman ng lesson na validated and approved dito sa dalawang grupo. Ito yung lesson na hindi gumagamit ng strategy but the same competency. Pareho ng competency, wala lang strategy. Itong isang group, ito gagamitan mo ng strategy. Ulitin ko pareho ng laman ng lesson, pero ang pagkakaiba lang ay yung pedagogy. Okay, yung paraan ng pagtuturo. Hindi mo gagamitan ng strategy, itong isa gagamitan mo ng strategy, which is the game-based learning strategy. Okay, now that you have conducted that, yung sumunod na sinabi natin, yung post-test, pagkatapos mong magturo, itong SOP number 4, ito. Okay? Yung SOP number 4, kagaya ng SOP number 2, magko-conduct ka na ng post-test. So, papaano? Palagi namin pinapaalala, ang laman ng pre-test ninyo ay dapat pareho din ng post-test. Ang pagkakaiba lang ay yung presentation ninyo nung exam. So, yung paraan ng pagpe-present ninyo, hindi dapat magkakapareho. So, in short, i-shuffle ninyo. Okay? It's the same competency, the same questions, but pagdating sa exam, pagdating dito sa post-test, dapat i-shuffle ninyo yung mga questions. Okay, now, after conducting the post-test, SOP number 5 na tayo. What is the significant difference ulit between the post-test performance ng dalawang group? Ano ba yung difference, significant difference ng post-test ng dalawang group? That is SOP number 5. So, nag-conduct na kayo ng post-test. Dito sa SOP number 5, ito na yon, aalamin nyo na ulit kung ano yung significant difference. Meron bang pagkakaiba? Meron bang mas mataas doon sa dalawang grupo? Okay, you're going to compare them. Okay, next, that's SOP number 5. SOP number 6. What is the significant difference? Hinahanap mo ulit yung pagkakaiba ng pre-test and post-test ng dalawang group. Pre-test and post-test ng dalawang group. Okay, SOP number 6, makikita nyo nandito sa gilid. Pre-test and post-test, meron bang pagkakaiba? Significant difference ulit. Yung exam, yung pre-test and post-test exam ng dalawang grupo. So ito, significant difference din. Okay. Para malaman ninyo kung tumaas ba o pareho lang o bumaba doon base doon sa result ng pre-test and post-test ng dalawang grupo ninyo. So that is SOP number 6. SOP number 7. What are the learning gains? Ano yung learning gains? Yung natutunan ng mga estudyante pagkatapos nyong magpa-exam, magturo at magbigay ng post-test. Ano yung learning gains nila of the two groups? Okay. Now, dito sa SOP number 7, ito yon. So, dito malalaman ninyo o establish ninyo yung learning gains based doon sa result ng post-test ninyo. Okay, so you have already established the learning gains, na-compute nyo na yung grade ng klase ninyo. After that, SOP number 8, i-compare nyo naman yung result ng learning gains nun dalawang grupo. Meron bang pagkakaiba yung learning gains nun dalawang grupo? Ito yon, SOP number 8. So, you are going to establish if there is significant difference between the learning gains ng dalawang grupo. Okay, so we have already covered yung ating conceptual framework and established na relevant siya, naka-align siya doon sa inyong SOP, sa inyong statement of the problem, specifically doon sa tinatawag nating specific problems. Okay, ang hypothesis ng experimental research can also be patterned. Meron na tayong template na inihanda para sa hypothesis ninyo, lalong-lalo na kapag experimental research ang inyong kinoconduct. So usually, ang nagiging basehan ng hypothesis ninyo ay yung mga area kung saan nag-establish kayo ng significant difference. So in this case, 4. Isa, itong dalawang, the same ano naman sila, area. 3, and then 4. Kaya ang hypothesis ninyo, 4 din. Null hypothesis 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, the first one, i-relate natin doon sa ating conceptual framework, HO number 1. There is no significant difference between the pre-test of the two groups. Yung una is pre-test. So, ano yung ano ito? So, this is the first one, bilugan natin, pre-test of the two groups. So that's the first one. Baguhin natin ng color. Okay, gawin natin green. So significant difference ng pre-test ng dalawang group. That's one. Number 2, There's no significant difference. Ito, there is no significant difference between the post-test of the two groups. Nasa naman yung post-test? Ito yung post-test niya. Okay? So, covered na yan ang hypothesis natin. Next, hypothesis number 3. There's no significant difference between the pre-test and post-test of the two groups. Pre-test and post-test of the two groups, ito yon. Yun nasa gilid. Pre-test and post-test. Pre-test and post-test of the two groups. So, tatlong hypothesis na yan. Yung pang-apat na hypothesis natin, there is no significant difference between the learning gains ng dalawang grupo. Learning gains, ito naman yung significant difference ng learning gains. So, kung makikita ninyo at kung mapapansin ninyo, all of these three areas should be aligned with each other. So, itong conceptual framework nyo should be aligned with the specific problem and should be aligned with the hypothesis. So, again, all of this has already been predetermined. Ang gagawin nyo na lang, uulitin ko, papaalalahanan ko ulit kayo, is to make sure that you substitute the variables that you will be using when adopting this particular template. Ulitin natin, this is your conceptual framework for your experimental research design, and this will be your statement of the problem for your experimental research design and the corresponding hypothesis for your particular research design. So, I hope and I know, okay, that this would be able to help you alleviate yung difficulty ninyo sa pag-establish ng conceptual framework sa pagbuo ng SOP at ng hypothesis if you are using experimental research in your paper or in your study. So again, if you are interested in using this, do not forget to please ask consent and please cite it properly if you are going to present this and use this in your manuscript. So again, thank you very much everyone. Please continue to support my YouTube channel. Click that subscribe button and click that notification bell to alert you when a new video has been uploaded. Thank you very much everyone. Stay safe and keep learning. I will see you in our next video. Bye!